Hi guys, welcome back to another video, or your first video here, I don't know, welcome if you're new here, welcome either way. So it has been a while since I posted. I was at my parents' for a while and didn't really feel like making videos, but I'm back now. So I cannot remember which books I read or chose to unhaul or bought in which month, so I think I'm just going to give you a catch-up video for each of those things. And so this is going to be my books I bought recently and not so recently, and there are a lot here, so I shall just get into it now. So this one was a birthday purchase, or try not to blind you because I've still got the plastic on it. So it is the Iliad and the Odyssey by Homer, and it is the Barnes & Noble leatherbound edition, and this was a birthday gift from my sister, so I know that I got this in September. But yes, it's just absolutely gorgeous. I have read both the Iliad and the Odyssey, so this is going straight onto my red shelf, but so pretty. Next up is a bit of a random pick, but it's Be Gay, Do Crime, this little book by Nardini, and basically I picked this up when I was in a sort of local bookshop / cafe, and I was just like, oh, that looks really interesting. Spoiler alert for my unhaul, I'm also going to be unhauling it because I don't think this is for me, but I will go into that more in my wrap up / unhaul. The next book I got is part of the Percy Jackson universe, and it is Percy Jackson The Demigod Files. I don't know anything about this. I'm assuming it's either short stories or just a single story in the Percy Jackson universe, but I will get to this one eventually. And this one is another book in the Vampirate series. It's sort of a guilty pleasure series. It's one of these middle grades where I still really enjoy it to this day. So it is Vampirate Empire of Night by Justin Somper, and yep, I saw this in a charity shop and decided to pick it up because I don't have this one yet. I never finished out the book series when I first read it, so if I finish it and actually really enjoy it, then I may rebuy the whole thing in their new covers, because it's very of its time, I think is what I'm going to say. This is Superbugs, An Arms Race Against Bacteria by William Hall, Anthony McDonnell and Jim O'Neill. Jim O'Neill is very famous in the field of work that I do my PhD in, and I've been wanting to get this for a while. I know it might seem like a random pick, as most of the things that I read are fiction, not non-fiction, but this one has been really interesting to me, and I saw it on sale at Waterstones and I thought this is the perfect opportunity to get it. The next one I have here is You Must Not Miss by Katrina Leno, and this cover is just stunning. I have seen a different cover of it, I'll put it up on the screen as well, and I just don't think it compares in any way. This is just, look at that artwork. This is just gorgeous. Don't really know much about it, but I've been meaning to pick it up, so yeah. Now I own it and I can't wait to get into it. So here I have another Simon's Cat sort of comic collection. This one's Off to the Vet, and yes, I now have quite a number of these Simon's Cat ones. Which ones do I have? This is a complete collection that I own now. We've got just the original Simon's Cat, Kitten Chaos, and Simon's Cat Beyond the Fence. So I really love the Simon's Cat artwork, and I do tend to consume it online, but when I see the sort of book editions in charity shops, then I just pick them up. So that was this. I also read it this month. It's just as good as any of the others, so I highly recommend if you're a fan of Simon's Cat comics. Next up I have a whole series, and it is the Graceling series, or I'm not sure if this has a series title other than the first book, but just look at this cover. So Kristen Cashore, I'm a big fan of her writing. One of my favourite books of all time is Jane Unlimited by the same author, and I've heard that this whole trilogy is great. So I've been meaning to get into it, and I started collecting the series in a version of covers that, sneak peek, you will see in my unhaul. And then I saw that they'd re-released them in these new gorgeous covers, and also the fact that they had the entire set in the works for very, very cheap. So if they're still around and you want these, do pick them up, because each of these covers is just such a glow up from any of the cover designs that this series has had. So I decided to just pick up the whole series. I do intend to read the whole series very soon, and I'm very excited to have this new set. So this one is Rainbow Milk by Paul Mendes. Big shocker, again, don't know anything about this, but I picked this up because it was a book club pick for the book club I'm a part of, and I didn't get around to it. I was in a bit of a reading slump over those few months, so I've missed a couple of meetings now, oopsie. But all I know about this is that it's gay in some regard, and so I am still very interested to try this out, but I no idea what it was about. And I'll get around to it eventually, I'm sure. The next one I have here is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. You guys may recognise this author as the author of Priory of the Orange Tree, which blew up a few years ago. This is quite a chunky monkey. Well, it's not that bad, but I think it's going to be quite intimidating. Although that text is pretty big, the spacing's fairly decently sized. And again, shock horror, I have no idea what this is about, but it was on my list of to buy on Goodreads, so when I saw it in a charity shop, I was like, well, I'm gonna buy it. Here I have Wilder Girls, which is that not just the most stunning of covers? This is by Rory Power. This one, I do know what it's about, but that's because this blew up on YouTube, being hyped up way before it actually got released. So this is about a group of girls going to a school, and then a tox hits and they get quarantined in this school. They get supplies sent off every now and again to them, and they have to just survive, and this tox is doing strange things to their body, and it just follows some of these girls, and apart from that I don't know much else. I've been told that it's incredibly queer, so I'm very excited to read this. This is From Ace to Z, The Little Book of LGBT Terms by Harriet Dyer. I think that's how you say that name. Anyway, I bought this because I was at a train station and I needed something quick to read, and I do like to sort of pick up books where I can then recommend them to people if they are new to the queer community and want information. This one to me was quite middle of the road, and I will be unhauling it, but I will tell you more in my wrap-up. Next I have The Lamplighter by Jackie Kay. This is a play that I got from Gaze the Word when I went there with my friend. It's a LGBT bookshop in London, and I love it there. It's so good. Do check it out if you're ever in the area. It's by Russell Square. And I got my friend to pick me out a play at random, and they picked this. So I have tried Jackie Kay twice before, and for one reason or another it just hasn't worked for me. So I am excited to read this and just give myself another shot to like one of her books. So hopefully I love it. This next one was also from my Gaze the Word shopping trip, and that is Carmilla by Sheridan Le Fawn. I'm not sure how exactly I'm supposed to pronounce that, but this is a stunning version of a book that came out years and years and years ago. This predates Dracula by about 25 years, I think, and it is known to be the book that inspired Dracula, and it is just the most lesbian of lesbian stories. So I love the fact that it was a Gaze the Word, because of the fact that a lot of people will try to argue that this is not about lesbians, but then they probably haven't read the book. But I do already own this, but it was a very ugly cover. I've never seen this one before, and I just had to own it because that is just stunning, all that red foil. And I do highly recommend this one, by the way. This is brilliant. Back to books I know nothing about. I've got The Beggars Opera by John Gay. I do tend to just pick up plays randomly to give them a try, and this one was $1.25 at a charity shop. I picked it up a couple of days ago. I know nothing. I will get to this at some point. Nothing more to say. Back to series that have had a cover redesign recently, and that is the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy. Now, this series have gone through a number of cover changes as well, and I think that this one has been the first one to really actually nail the vibe of the series and actually look really, really good. So these are just stunning. I have read Daughter of Smoke and Bone now, and because I was holding off on purchasing these series until I'd given it a go and seen what I think of it, because have I read anything from Laini Taylor before? I don't think so. I wanted to try out her writing before I dove into this. And this cover is just gorgeous. They all are. They are all stunning. And I've really, really loved Daughter of Smoke and Bone. Spoiler alert for my recent wrap-up. But just, this one is a chunky monkey. But yes, I am very excited to continue in this trilogy, and very excited that I now own the gorgeous, gorgeous new editions. I've just got the rest of my plays that I picked up because I thought I'd just talk about them all in one go. So these are all plays where I either saw them in a charity shop or most of them I saw in a charity shop, and I just decided to pick them up because why not? I'm not versed in the authors. I just thought I'd give some a go. So I've got Dancing at Lanasa. I'm going to have to look up how that's properly pronounced, by Brian, I thought it was Frail. Know nothing about this. I'll tell you more when I read it. Oh, this one I got from Gaze the Word as well, from another trip. I was with my sister at that time, and I got her to just pick me out a random play, and it is Really Want to Hurt Me by Ben Santamaria. Again, I'll be talking about this in my wrap-up because I have read it already, and spoiler alert, didn't really like it, but Next one is Top Girls by Carol Churchill. Part of their modern classics. I couldn't get into this. I really didn't like it, so spoiler alert for my unhaul, I guess. I think these last few I found in charity shops when I went to Edinburgh on holiday, because I went to the Edinburgh Fringe, and I guess a lot of people happened to be reading plays at the time. I then have A Man for All Seasons by Robert Bolt. Know nothing. We'll tell more when I find out more. I also have Euripides by, oh dear, this author. I'm going to have to look up how to pronounce this. I'm sure that this play is going to be full of things that I cannot pronounce, so I'm excited to get into this. And I also got The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, which I have read as a book, but I am curious to see the play, even though I wasn't the biggest fan of the book, and I got it to read this and give it a try. So next we have another book I got in Edinburgh actually, and that is Felix Ever After by Kaysen Callender. Everyone's been reading this over the past couple of years, and I've been meaning to get it, and I would have been happy to wait for it, but I saw this in an independent bookshop while I was in Edinburgh, and the sprayed edges, like those stenciled edges, are what made me pick it up, because I was like, I don't know if this is a special edition, if I'm going to be able to find this when I get back to the UK. I think I have seen these edges on other versions of this book, but look at that. It is just gorgeous. It matches the flowers on the front cover, but that is just stunning. How could I not? Next one is Tin Man by Sarah Whitman. I've been meaning to read this for ages, and my mum said that she'd lend me her copy a couple of years ago now, and she can't find it, so I decided to just get my own. It is just ever so slightly sticky. Don't know why, but found this in a charity shop, and I mean, it looks a bit bigger than it is, but that's because it's a hardcover. So I will get to this when I get to this. And the final 3 are all books that I bought because I'd already read them over the past couple of months. So I have got Little Moments of Love by Katana Comics. This is just a comic collection of the artist's artwork, and this is sort of her style. Very, very cute, very wholesome, and I would highly recommend if you're into that. If you want to try out some of her stuff, she's got a lot online if you wanted to see it for free and give it a try. So here we've got Life After Love. Yes, I still have the Cher song in my head since I read this, by Imogen Markwell Tweed. And I read this, I want to say a couple of months ago, and it's about a boy who moves into a flat and is haunted by a ghost, and it's about their interactions and romance. Very, very cute. And for how short it is, I thought it was incredibly well paced. And the last book on my stack is Silver in the Wood by Emily Tesh. I also read this recently, and it is such a short book, but it is just stunning. It's so magical, so whimsical, and I would highly recommend going into this with very little knowledge of what it's about. It's about a how to pitch this without giving much away. It's basically about a forest man who lives in the woods and takes care of the woods, and he is one day visited by the new owner of those woods, and it is about their interactions from there. And it's just stunning. I would highly recommend. I also just finished reading the sequel, so I have to pick that one up too and have them matching because they both look so beautiful. So I bought 30 books, which I think isn't that bad considering the last haul I did was a number of months ago, so I haven't done as well with the unhauling, but yeah. Oh well. Let me know some books that you've bought and you're really excited to read down in the comments below. I shall see you in the next video. Have a good day. Bye.